Greetings, all you servants of the White Witch out there. I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'm coming at you with another review of Fairy Tale, The 100 Years Quest. This time it's chapter 29, titled Whiteout, as that's literally Toka's power. Just to white everything out of existence. Just bleach everything in white. Ooh, the white agenda is real. I better not go that far. But as Natsu, Urza, Lucy are all confronted by the various members of the Fairy Tale Guild under the command of Toka the White Witch, as well as Jalal, they're kind of at an impasse as Toka mocks the fact that she has possessed all of them with her power, with them not fully understanding just how capable she is. But Toka outstretches her hand and begins to drain away all of their magical power, only for Wendy to just pop right in and nullify all their status effects. Like, she literally says that, and I'm just like, wow, it's just like an actual RPG, just nullifying the effects. Then we have Gray pop in and create a massive ice wall in order to separate them from Toka, in order to buy them at least a little bit of time. However, this proves to be very futile in the face of Loxus's overwhelming power. I still love the fact that, despite the fact that Natsu has defeated, like, basically everyone at this point, it's still a great amount of power that these other characters exert. It's very inconsistent at times, but it's still fun at least. That basically leaves them with no choice but to run. Going up against a few members of Fairy Tail would be one thing, but going up against the entire guild, that's a little bit much. But Toka does not have the members of Fairy Tail under her possession go after them, as she feels at some point they'll come running back to her in order to get their friends back. She'd rather put her plans fully into motion in order to dye the wood god dragon in white. Meanwhile, Natsu and the rest have all been filled in on everything that happened with Toga, that everyone in the guild's magic was erased. Juvia explains that, ultimately at first she was caught off guard by Toka's ability, but she found out that Toka has this split personality. The girl who wanted to dye everything in white is the magic erasing white witch, while there's an innocent girl who's in love with Natsu deep down, called Toka. Juvia believes that it was because of Toka's interference under the watchful gaze of the White Witch that she was able to be freed and was able to warn everyone about this plan. Although, when it's brought up to Natsu about Toka being in love with him, he has no clue, so we really don't have any idea who Toka ultimately is. Why does the Toka side of the White Witch's personality feel this way towards Natsu specifically? What connection is there? I'm still under the assumption that it might have something to do with the original Natsu Dragmeal, as this Natsu is actually an Aetherius clone, so I feel like that could possibly explain it. Then again, we also don't know too much of Natsu's childhood, so there's always the possibility he met her at a very young age, and he simply doesn't remember. Natsu isn't really the brightest bulb in the bunch. Juvia was sent out to warn everyone about this involvement, but, Toka explained to Juvia certain things, that the White Witch wants to wipe out the 5 god dragons. She explains what Toka's whiteout power is, that when she whites someone out, she's able to control their magical abilities, and control them through their magical abilities specifically. And she can set their powers to maximum, and make them do whatever that she possibly wants. She even explains that that's the reason why the water god dragon Mercuphobia was, rampaging out of control, with everyone remembering that, oh, okay, Carmilla actually did say that she had the White Witch help her with that. So he was the trigger for everything that happened during that time, where the water god dragon's power, flew out of control, and that after she was, but Juvia says that after the water god dragon was defeated, she changed up her plan and decided to target Fairy Tail instead. She also does explain that, originally her plan was to wipe out Fairy Tail and, erase them, kill everyone at that moment. But now she's keeping everyone, contained and under her control in order to defeat, in order to kind of, be her pawns for the most part, in order to, back everyone else into this corner for the most part. So, when Natsu asks Juvia how to defeat them, she explains that the only way to do that is to defeat the White Witch herself. With her feeling that's a little bit impossible. But, they're kind of at a loss. It's just like, well, how do we get past everyone? What should we do? But suddenly this is interrupted by a rumbling going on in the city, as we come to find out that the various members of Fairy Tail are destroying the various Lacrema, at the center of the town. This causes, an instability in terms of how the Wood God Dragon, protects the city. And we actually see that Toka is transmitting the words of the White Witch into Juvia, so that they're hearing everything she says. With, for some reason the White Witch has to physically explain her plans to the Fairy Tail Guild, where she explains that, once they destroy all the various orbs all in the various cities all around Alderaan, he will lose the strength, and she'll use the various members of Fairy Tail to do that in order to weaken the Wood God Dragon and leave him susceptible to her power. And they realize they can't. Team Natsu realizes they can't let her do that. They have to go to the various other towns and stop the Fairy Tail Guild before they cause real trouble for the innocent populace living on the Wood God Dragon Alderaan. And they try to kind of figure out a way in order to save everyone, but nothing really comes to mind. Natsu is all too willing to just knock everyone out. He sees it as a challenge. In order to save his friends, he'll have to fight his friends, which he immediately gets all pumped up for. But, there's no real way of knowing how well this will work out. They just have to trust that, with Toka in control, their friends will be a little bit more sloppy in battle. But, ultimately, people like Loxus, Mira Jane, Jazal, and Gajia will be the most difficult to deal with Wendy just noting that she's glad that Gildarts isn't around. But Natsu doesn't care about any of that. He's just all too happy to kick everyone's asses, thus ending our chapter. An alright chapter for the most part. It's still really hard to tell where this whole situation with Toka is ultimately gonna go. It's not bad, it just doesn't feel like an end-all be-all situation. It kind of feels like we're playing things by ear, with the Diablos Guild being involved, Toka's involvement, and it just feels like, oh, okay, so we're already getting that whole situation kind of wrapped up. Feels like I kind of expected to kind of play the field with that whole plot point for a little bit before we went all out into the whole situation, but you know, I guess Mashima just wanted to just do it to it and be done with it, but that's all well and good. It was the more interesting angle of this series to begin with, and I am curious to find out more about Toka and the White Witch as a whole. But, you know, tell me your thoughts and theories in the comment section below. What matchups are you looking forward to? Who are you hoping faces off and faces down? You know, and, you know, how do you feel about yet another battle royale for in terms of Fairy Tail? Now it's, you know, unlike before with the Battle of Fairy Tail, where it was just this battle royale of various characters. More or less everyone versus the Thunder Legion. Now it's everyone versus Team Natsu with a little bit of an edge. How do you feel about that situation? Do you feel that it's a crummy idea of a way of having this showdown, or are you actually interested in this matchup as a whole? You know, definitely tell me your thoughts and theories on where things will go in the comment section below. If you liked this video, feel free to leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to give me a dislike and tell me what I did wrong in the comment section below. Subscribe and hit the bell icon, that way you never miss out on another Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest chapter review. And if you want to find me on social media, just Google Duuz-Diz-Din. I'm everywhere, for better or for worse. And until the next video, just remember that, you know, you can always dye the world in white, but that doesn't truly mean things around you never existed. They're just covered up, waiting beneath the surface. Till next time.